just a bit off, just saying. It's not that we have intentionally chosen to add or to change the story. It's just that over time and over distance, the story has been changed and highlighted and augmented and embellished, so much so that some of the earliest simplicity and beauty of the story is shifted and faded and shaded in a way that becomes both invisible to us and may lead us to believe things that were true. I know that you've already heard me note more than once that there is probably no evidence that Mary rode a donkey from Nazareth to Bethlehem. I know it sounds good, it makes some sense to us in our modern day world of non-donkey riders, that of course a 9-month pregnant woman wouldn't want to walk for 4 or 5 days to get from the north country around Lake Galilee to the southern tribal area of Judah, where Bethlehem lay nestled in the Judean hills. Unless, of course, she lived in a world and in a period of history when women and men walked great distances all the time. In fact, a trip like this by a pregnant woman wasn't at all uncommon. So Mary went to Bethlehem, probably not on a donkey, and I don't know if you remember this, but she went twice. Please understand, both times there may have been a donkey. If there was, since donkeys are slow, the journey may have taken well longer than 4 or 5 days. And most likely the donkey was loaded up with supplies for traveling, the pickup truck of his day, as well as carrying the traditional gifts exchanged between families as you go to visit, an absolute must in the Middle East. I've often shared with you that my brother-in-law Sanjay, who grew up in New Delhi and still has a mother there and other family members, when he travels back to New Delhi, has to take these great big suitcases. He doesn't take any clothes, he just takes gifts for everybody. And I asked him one time, why do you have to take so many gifts? And he says, because when you go home, everybody you meet, you haven't seen, you have to give them a gift. That's the deal. That's just the way it works in the Middle East. And this is the same case for Mary and Joseph. If they were going to go visit what were family, they had to take gifts, and they were on the donkey. Because as we're reminded here and elsewhere in Luke, going from Nazareth to Bethlehem for both Mary and Joseph was a trip to a place where there were lots of relatives. Joseph, the scripture reminds us, was from Bethlehem. Perhaps not at the time of his betrothal, but back in the day, or perhaps in his parents' day. And Mary, it turns out, had an aunt, or maybe because of their age difference, a great aunt, Elizabeth, who lived outside of Bethlehem in the hills. And today's scripture lesson is about that time, the first time, when Mary, early in her pregnancy, went to visit Elizabeth and was joyously welcomed by her. Yeah, and another odd understanding of the Christmas emerges here. Our concerns about Mary being pregnant before her marriage, like that hasn't happened all the time since Adam and Eve. I get it, sex before marriage was a huge problem then, because the law of Moses had horrible prescription for what to do when people got busy outside of marriage, and because, well, people do get pregnant outside of marriage. So it made sense that everyone was nervous when it happened. Faithfulness and fidelity in marriage is important to us and to God because it reveals to us the character of God. God didn't make us and abandon us. God is always faithful. And a healthy, faithful marriage pictures that for us. But babies happen, which is why the law was concerned about it. Whose child is it? Who will take care of it? Whose family is responsible to see that this child is raised in the faith? From whom will this child inherit? Who will be the godparents, making sure that if the parents fail or die, that the child will be raised to be a woman or man of God? Yes, there were some real concerns about Mary's pregnancy. But here's the thing. While the folks in Nazareth may have fretted, in Bethlehem, her anticipated child was treated as a blessing and a complete joy. And most of that celebratory spirit, it seems, was because of Elizabeth's and in utero John the Baptist's overwhelming and physically challenging greeting. Imagine Elizabeth, a woman we are told was well beyond her childbearing years, possibly in her 80s, getting a gut kick from her son John. Oh my goodness. I remember 6 months ago when our daughter-in-law Rachel was breaking out in exclamations every time Noah, in utero, gave her a good kick or a punch. So having John dancing and leaping and praising God inside her womb must have been a shocker and a wild confirmation at the same time that this wonderful woman, Mary, who had walked some 80 miles or more to be with Elizabeth and care for her at the end of her pregnancy, is the real deal. The soon-to-be mother of God. In some communities, they might even call her a badass. She, like Elizabeth, is strong, resilient, brave, focused, determined, and full of faith. Ready to take on the challenge of being the vessel by which and through which God's presence will be revealed. Just like so many other women in our lives. Just like so many other women in this room. Just so, like so many other women, we are raising to be women of faith, women full of faith, women who will teach us about bearing God in their world. In the Christmas story, as we have come to know it, there are many things that really don't make sense or have no biblical evidence. 3 wise men with camels. I mean, we're not even sure that they smoked. It's nice to know you're all there. Camels, yes, that does suggest I know. The Bible, remember, says that there were 3 gifts. Not how many magi came to visit Jesus. But about Mary, we almost get it right. She was indeed, as the hymn goes, meek and mild. But if by that you mean she was genuine and spirit-filled and caring, you're right on the mark. To be clear, she was also a warrior. Unafraid to take on her quest, willing to endure the challenges, even the barbs, if it meant doing what was right, following God's lead, and being the mother of the Messiah. She was an example, as was her Aunt Elizabeth before her, of strong faith, strong character, and a really strong, shall we say, almost stubborn will. The kind of example we need for all of our young women, for all the rest of us as well. So while the Christmas story for some of us may be a bit clouded by well-meaning followers of Christ from different places and different times, this much remains true. Mary was awesome. Truly awesome. May you and yours this Christmas see Mary for who she really was. God's strong and determined, faithful and unbreakable woman of God. And may you be too. Let us pray. Gracious God Almighty, we thank you for Mary, who is such an incredible example of determined faith. One who is willing to take on the challenges and the calling and go in bravery and grace and live a life that truly brought glory to you. We pray that we would learn from her how to be faithful servants in every regard. We ask this all through Jesus Christ our Lord.